Here I am after so many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear. I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I'll slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah. Black babies in the womb, shackled and bound, chained by the caveman who keeps beauty down, smacked on the ass when they're squalling and wet. Heir to a spineless man who never forgets, never forgets that he's a prisoner. Can't you hear my plea? 'Cause I need somebody, Lord knows, to listen to me. I'm a stranger to my son who wonders why his daddy runs, yeah.
Welcome, peace and love. Welcome again to the NEPPC podcast. I'm Brother Frank, and I'm with former political prisoner
Abdul Haq Islam.
Please bear with us. We're having some technical difficulties, but the show must go on. So let us proceed with today's segment, because today's segment is about organizing for the right to live. Right? We all have a right to live, but that must be demonstrated in practice, what we decide to stand up for. Kwame Ture, formerly known as Stokely Carmichael, said it best. He said, organize, organize, organize. For a number of times, when you look at him or hear him on lectures, you would hear him advocate the importance of being part of an organization. He used to say organization. He was putting emphasis on the word. He would stress the word out so you understood the value and the importance of that idea. So when we talk about political prisoners and we talk about history of people's struggle for their right to live, we're talking about you must organize for that right to live, right? It must be done through discipline, focus, and commitment. We must express convictions. So as we proceed with this episode, it's important that whenever we look at any gains that a people have made, it was because of the discipline that came within an organization. It was because people were going to make that commitment to being organized. Brother Hot.
Yeah, peace and love. Anytime we have technical difficulties, I always say it's probably the enemy interfering, trying to prevent our work from being done. But, we're going to do our work regardless of what the obstacles are. Talking about the right to live, I want to begin by talking about Tyre Nichols, a brother who was murdered by the police. A group of black cops known as the Goon Squad beat this brother to death, and incidents like this should ignite our consciousness, and make us think about that we have a right to live. We living in a society where most of the murders committed against people are committed against black people. The police have murdered 1,000 people in the past year, and black people are murdered by the cops more than anybody else. Mayor Adams of New York is considering creating goon squads in New York like the goon squads in Memphis that beat Tyre Nichols to death. There were once goon squads existing in New York. Adams wants to bring this back. So, in light of these facts and this trend going around the country, we should think about our right to live and how we love living, in our fight to stay alive. Similarly, cops are being trained in military maneuvers in Atlanta, in a place called Cop City, which I call Pig City. There is a action right now in Atlanta called Block Cop City, where people are getting in the way of Cop City being built. So this type of fascism is going on around the country. So, the logical response to the fascism being on the rise, police murdering us and criminally insane white gangs arming and training themselves, is for us to organize self-defense. We'll talk about a couple of things that have been organized very recently. One thing was an event honoring Dr. Mutulu Shakur. There is a publication called Rebuild, that is talking about the life of Dr. Mutulu Shakur, and there was an event, honoring our brother. Sister Viola Plummer knew Dr. Mutulu Shakur when they was coming up as children. It was named Jarrell Wayne Williams, and she said that he was a fighter. Fighting. Show enough, throwing down fighter. And when I was on MCC with the brother, he used to body punch with all the tough guys. So Rebuild is a publication that talks about the life of Dr. Mutulu Shakur, and some of the articles in here are the obituary of Dr. Mutulu Shakur. BAANA honors Dr. Mutulu Shakur. That's the organization, the acupuncture organization that Dr. Mutulu Shakur founded, was a member of. Tribute to Dr. Mutulu Shakur from the New African People's Organization and Malcolm X Grassroots Movement. All right, that's in the paper. Who Dr. Shakur was to me, by Cleo Silvers. All right. All right, moving on real quick. Here's a page full of pictures. Black Workers for Justice salute our comrade, brother in arms, Dr. Mutulu Shakur, May 10th, Communist Organization Statement of Solidarity. Acupuncture Detox Specialist Collective honors Dr. Mutulu Shakur. NCBS for Dr. Mutulu Shakur. Imam Jamil Action Network offers condolences. Workers World honors memory and work of Dr. Mutulu. Mutulu tribute from the New African Women's Organization. Mutulu Shakur at New African Revolutionary. Okay, now this paper titled Rebuild. I can't because I ain't got my reading glasses with me right now. Maybe Frank can read you the address where you can get copies of it.
Yes, it says, we want to hear from you. We would like to extend a call for submission, a call for submissions to the New African Independence Movement article submissions. New African Independence Movement article submissions should be between 500 and 1,500 words. Please email your submissions or other communications to info@rebuildcollective.org. Submissions or letters by mail should be sent to Rebuild in care of Spear and Shield Publications, 1321 North Milwaukee Avenue, Suite 441, Chicago, Illinois, 60642. And follow us on Instagram at RBC National. Send Cash App donation to $RBC 2018. Subscribe on YouTube at Rebuild Collective. When you were reading, I noticed that it was a number of organizations that came to show solidarity and respect and unity around the contributions that Dr. Mutulu, the Honorable Dr. Mutulu Shakur, had made throughout the duration of his life. And I think that embodies what we were saying when we were talking about organized for the right to live, meaning that you can't simply want the right to live without fighting for it, struggling for it, being part of a group of people that feel the same way and making a contribution to a group of people feeling the same way. Anybody who's involved in any political prisoner work, please understand that you're a part of a group and that your work as an individual is a contribution to the efforts of the group. You can't just have in your mind that the organization itself is just going to come up with ideas, is going to do things that you would like done, and not hold yourself accountable for making those things happen. So wherever you're at, you have to advocate for political prisoners because that's an injustice. People who are incarcerated because of their political views and their organized action to advocate for the freedom of people, all people who have the right to self-determination. And we have to look at that from a standpoint of what are we going to decide to do as an individual. What are the things that I decided to do when I got involved in political prisoner work is actually write to a political prisoner. That way, a relationship built, and I decided that I was going to deal with that political prisoner directly and let that political prisoner know what I was up to, what ideas I had to do. And I think that that's the essence of political prisoner work. You're a part of a group. You tell a group this is what you want to do and this is what you have to contribute, and you get it done. You don't wait for others to get it done for you. You do it because it should be done. It's the right thing to do. And I think that that's the essence of organizing for the right to live. Right. Yes, you have to organize yourself, and you have to make a contribution to a group of people who are organizing. But you have to hold yourself personally accountable for making a contribution to that organization. We all got skills. We all got talents. Some of us are good writers. Some of us are good fundraisers. Some of us are good organizers. We all have a talent we can contribute. And I think that that's what we need to focus on as we continue to struggle, fight, and strong and hard for our political prisoners, because they deserve our best, because they gave us our best. But that's what I wanted to say, brother. Prior to us coming on, we was dealing with the supporters and organizers for the release of Imam Jamil Al-Amin.
Correct.
And there's going to be an upcoming book coming on, and if everything goes right and the schedules permit, we'll have the brother
Bilal
Sunni Ali come on, and he'll talk more about the upcoming book as well as the work to free our beloved brother, elder, comrade, and continuous freedom fighter, Jalil Al-Amin.
Imam Jamil Al-Amin, yes.
Just formerly known as H. Rap Brown.
The title of the book is Holy Cause. You know, it's a book of poetry. And there's a brother who comes on the media who recites from the book, you know. And, you know, that's one of the, we talk about organization, that's one of the things that is being organized right now, you know. Also, there is going to be a mailing campaign on freeing Imam Jamil Al-Amin, which will be beginning very, very soon. Atlanta is vibrant with activity. You know, I was talking about talking to Bilal, you know, and there's much happening in Atlanta right now to get Imam Jamil free. You know, there's a thing called rapping for rap. You know, Imam Jamil, if I can remember the line right from Holy Cause, is you brag about swag, but wouldn't mean no rap without rap. You know, Imam Jamil, you know, was the father of rap. You know, and there's a whole lot of activities going on in Atlanta right now for the Imam. You know, his birthday is October 4th, and they're having a big campaign, you know, to get the word out about the Imam right now. Building. Okay, another thing coming out of Atlanta that we're going to share here in New York is Panther Vets building a united front against murder music. You know, as members of the December 12th movement, we have a group called Stop the Killing, and we go out in the streets and tell the people, you know, give them wisdom and understanding about stopping the killing. You know, and from what we understand, statistics of killing in Bed-Stuy have gone down. You know, so we can be confident that the work as a people. We're not saying that we're not taking credit for all that, but we're saying that we can have confidence that our work as a united people, united organizations, networking, that we can be successful in this campaign to stop the killing. You know, the words of the defeatist attitude is that this stuff is so overwhelming that there's nothing that we can do about it. You know, but as revolutionaries, we believe we can do anything. You know, and we're going to be sharing the messages coming out of Atlanta. You know, the Black Panther Vets who are building a coalition to stop murder music. You know, let's come with messages about living. This program today is about the value of life, loving our life. You understand? And we got to love those who fought to save our lives, who are our political prisoners. Many of those who fought to save our lives have become political prisoners because they sacrificed everything. Not concerned about their own safety. You understand? Not being selfish. You understand? But living for the people. So now, as a consequence, the state has stolen them from us. So we honor these people. In honoring our lives, we honor our political prisoners. It's a lot going on. We talk about organizing. So these are some of the things that are being organized right now. As Kwame said, organize, organize, organize.
Yes, indeed. This is the effort that needs to be taken if we're seriously going to change our current conditions, and we can't leave nobody behind. It's an all-out war, and that's why we have this platform, so we are reminded of ourselves that we're at war. Right? We have a discussion on social media. We ask people to share it. We ask you to donate our Cash App. We'll utilize that money to put out the word further. We ask that you support businesses that support us. If you're interested in any businesses that are supporting the cause of Black people, you can contact
there's a fundraiser for Sekou. You have the address for the fundraiser?
Yes, the fundraiser. Just check us out. Check out our Facebook page, Sefu Sankofa. I'm posting it out consistently. Or you could just Google search GoFundMe, and you will see Sekou Odinga, and it's a fundraiser to help with his medical expenses.
Yeah,
it's going well, and we want to continue to do that.
Sekou don't want a lot of details of his medical condition to be, all out there in the air, but it's just sufficient to say that the medical care that he has had has been successful, and the brother just gave the information of how people can donate, because when the brother get out of the hospital, they don't pay him for being in there.
His spirit is strong. Continue to keep him in your prayers, your thoughts, your meditation.
That's what he said.
And, yes, let's be strong Black men the way Sekou Odinga is, and want us to be.
Former political prisoner Sekou Odinga.
Let's share what we're going through as Black men. We might be going through some medical issues, and sometimes we think that we don't want to talk to people about it, but yet let's discuss our issues with each other. Let's rely on each other. Let's be our brothers' keepers. Let's build stronger bonds as Black men. Very important to discuss your business with people. Because some of us feel like they don't want nobody knowing their business. They feel ashamed. But, sometimes somebody talking about you is really helping you get some information about what you need to work on. And transparency and humility, those are not weaknesses. Those are actually strengths, because not everybody can exhibit that, and not everybody can utilize that to become better and more powerful, not only to themselves, but their support system. Because nobody gets anywhere by themselves. And that's why it's so important for us to have dialogue, to become further empowered, to continue to be focused, to continue to be determined, to become better. And in us becoming better, we make our people better. We provide answers that are needed for our people. And that's about organizing, right? We organize people based on where they at, based on the discussions that you are having, based on practicality. You examine the resources and decide what you can realistically carry out. And then you get it done. And then you watch others watch you. And then you ask those who are watching you, what do they think about what's being done? You allow them to have some input, and then you challenge them. You challenge them to step up, to do what's being done or do more, and educate us on what you are doing more and how we can do more ourselves. In this process, what we want to take place will take place. It's just a matter of time, place, and conditions. I think that organizing for the right to live must be thought about seriously. It must be internalized, because sometimes we repeat a slogan, but we don't realize how powerful it is and how important it is once we start to understand that. Because when you're organizing for the right to live, you're actually bringing people together who have the same concerns and who are ready to make the same contributions. And this is when you stop being selfish. You start giving more of yourself. That we spoke about Dr. Mutulu Shakur and all the organizations that were sending out their condolences because of his transition. And all these organizations understood what Dr. Mutulu Shakur was about. He was about being his people. He was about being unselfish. And I think one of the points that I brought out last week is when Charles Barron has spoke at the service for Dr. Mutulu Shakur and said when he visited him, Dr. Mutulu Shakur didn't talk about his situation, him getting out. He talked about what was going on with Black people and what it needed to be done. And I think that says a lot about him. See, when you deal with the science of organization, you're dealing with the objective. If the objective is to make sure people's right is protected, then how do you get that done? I'm not going to talk too much about myself. I'm going to talk about what's going on with the people and what we need to do and how it needs to be done. Can it be done? Right? Because you don't want to fantasize. You don't want to romanticize the situation. You want to have the best conversation because you can't cheat the people. The people know what's right, what's wrong. They know who's authentic and who's not. They've been conned so many times that, they see it within a few seconds of your conversation. So your best effort is to give them your best, to have that dialogue that's directed to the problem at hand and that's going to capture their attention and is going to hold them accountable just like you're accountable while you're having a discussion, while you're making that decision on doing something and you're doing it in a disciplined manner, fashion. I know Brother Abdul Haq Islam, you're a former political prisoner. And when people were organizing for you, right, were you providing them input in your situation?
Yeah, I was, communicating, sending out ideas about liberation, what I thought needed to be done, talking about organization, letting the people know that, I was doing all right. One of the things I used to always talk about was that in spite of the state's attempt to break the spirit, to make us bow down, and cower and crawl, that we must always be of the uppermost in our spirits, to fight back, and never give up. It was a great, great challenge because jail is designed, to make you depressed, to make you give up, to make you think there's absolutely nothing that you can do, that there's millions and billions of factors against you, which can, prevent you from attaining your goals, and so I always, stress that we must use that time as a period to learn much and become very, very clear, become logical in our thinking, to have a vast understanding of history, the history, including the history of what we did, to liberate ourselves, the history of how people organized and came together, with that winning spirit, so they just, turned me as a weapon against themselves, the enemy always shoots himself in the foot, and that's what they did. And this is what people need to always do. Whatever the enemy tries to do to you, turn the table on him, and realize that without a doubt we're going to win, and that we are winning right now, that we're organizing right now. Different things are being organized, recently for our liberation, which is a group of young people who've been in the struggle 2 years, you understand, are very, very strong out there, organizing, standing up to the pigs, you know. The disinformation going out for about Dr. Matulu, you know, and the publication Rebuild, you know, that's an organizing effort. Dr. Maurice Salakan just wrote a book on the imprisonment of Imam Jamil Al-Amin, you know, so that those are organizing ideas, you know, and you know, so we come together, you know, use our intelligence, ideology, and as Brother Matulu said, his work in acupuncture, you know, it affected all realms, the social, the spiritual, the political, you know, in all aspects of our lives, you know, with the element of healing, you know, healing, you know, healing for life, you know. This episode is about our love of life, you know, so we must be filled with this love of life. You know, it must be like a great burning sun inside our being, inside our chest, you understand, which gives life, you know, which produces life-giving activity, or organized life-giving activity, you understand, with the purpose, you understand, of our liberation.
Absolutely, brother. Right on point as always. You know, we provide you with information, political prisoner update. You get the addresses. If you need any information that was not provided for you, I provide my personal cell phone, 347-679-3936. Again, that's 347-679-3936. Text me, call me, let me know that you seriously want to get involved. Let's do what we can together. Let's not let our political prisoners die in prison. You know the call, free them all.
Free them all.
In addition to that, don't let political prisoners die in prison.
Right.
Organize for the right to live, right? Your right is only protected by how effectively you fight for it.
You got a right to live.
We have a right to live. Our political prisoners have a right to come home. What's the call?
Free them all.
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 What's the call?